DC League of Super Pets. Yeah, I saw this movie. Why the heck am I reviewing it? I don't know. It's the only new movie released in theaters right now, so, you know, why not? And The Rock is in it. I gotta support my boy. So Dwayne Johnson voices Krypto the Super Dog, and he is inseparable from the one and only Clark Kent / Superman, who is voiced in here by John Krasinski. And they literally share the same exact superpowers, and they're fighting crime side by side in Metropolis. But when the Man of Steel and the rest of the Justice League are kidnapped, Krypto must convince a ragtag group of animals led by Ace, who's voiced by Kevin Hart, to master their own newfound powers for a rescue mission. Now here's the thing, guys, I know what you're thinking. I know you probably clicked on this video expecting a gigantic rant, huh? You were expecting me to shit all over this movie, didn't ya? You were just expecting me to rip this movie a new one. I'm not gonna do that. This movie is incredibly harmless, and the kids that I was watching this in the theater with tonight absolutely ate this movie up. And you know what? I didn't hate it. I thought this was gonna be one of the worst movies of the year, but here's the thing. DC League of Super Pets knows what kind of movie it is, and it never tries to be anything more than that. Dwayne Johnson and his production company, 7 Bucks, really seem to understand that if you take a well-known source material, take Baywatch, for example, pretty raunchy film in its own right, but again, it embraces what kind of movie it is. It is absolutely silly. It is very much over the top. DC League of Super Pets is very much a movie made for families, specifically for children. There is some super vibrant animation. You have some really exciting action sequences in here for the kids to enjoy. And it really does seem like the actors are having a fun time. Dwayne Johnson plays Dwayne Johnson, basically. He's charismatic and he's inspired, he's determined. He definitely has that never say die attitude that you would expect from a hero. And I really do enjoy all the other voice actors in here. John Krasinski is a very fine Superman. Keanu Reeves voices Batman in here. I never thought that I would love a casting choice more than this one right now, but oh my god, Keanu Reeves was hysterical. And that's another thing. This movie was surprisingly very funny. Do all the jokes land in this movie? Absolutely not. There are a couple of sequences in here that I found a little iffy and out of place, especially for a kid's movie. But every single word out of Batman's mouth is comedy gold. And I dare not get into spoilers, just in case you want to go and check this out for yourself. You will be laughing in the aisleways at Keanu Reeves. He was so funny. He's giving Will Arnett a run for his money, and I never thought that that was possible for an animated Batman. But I feel like the actor I enjoyed the most, and I'm very shocked saying this, seeing as how Dwayne Johnson was in this, Kevin Hart freaking blew me away in this. Kevin Hart is playing the tough guy of the group, and this is very much so against his type. You guys are well aware that Kevin Hart tends to get laughs from screaming very much over the top and just shouting his jokes, but here he's very subtle and very reserved and very stone cold. Again, ironic considering The Rock is in this movie that Kevin Hart is stone cold. He's stone cold, son! But no, he doesn't do that. Ace is a very compelling character with a very tragic and dark backstory that took turns that I was not expecting whatsoever. And you know, for a kids movie that's centered around these iconic DC characters and their home pets, I mean, these actors seemed like they were having a great time. And the audience I was watching with was having a great time. Honestly, the first act of this movie I would consider fantastic. I was laughing, I was really enjoying myself. The first 5 minutes of this movie are Bolt level adorable. You will just want to eat this damn movie up because this opening is so darn cute. But then it kind of gets into the villainous arc and I don't know. I mean, my brother who I watched the movie with tonight guessed right away who the villain was. And I don't think it's a dead giveaway because if you look at the press images of this certain character, it should be freaking obvious. But I just didn't really find this to be a very compelling villain. I mean, it was just so repetitive and predictable. And I just didn't really find the concepts behind this villain all that funny either. Now, the Justice League, as I mentioned in that little plot synopsis at the top of the video, do get kidnapped. This I was expecting, the Justice League taking a back seat so that these little cute animals can get their spot in the limelight with their superpowers. But I will admit, the way the Justice League is kidnapped really made it difficult for me personally to suspend my disbelief. Like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was so ridiculous. And I mentioned levels of adorableness towards the opening of this film that equal Bolt from Disney. That's another thing. It really does feel like this story is very derivative to Bolt. I mean, Bolt is another superhero dog who goes out and solves mysteries and fights crime and all that stuff. It's pretty much the same sort of story, except you throw licensed characters into the mix. pets. I don't know, DC League of Super Pets isn't an animated movie that's going to light the world on fire, but I will say I'm glad I at least watched the movie once. I'm glad I could go out and support The Rock's newest project before Black Adam. Certainly some very funny jokes involving Keanu Reeves as Batman. Kevin Hart gives a very, very different turn that I would never have expected from him in a million years. And if you have kids who are into superheroes, they will for sure dig this one. And heck, it might be a nice introduction to your little ones who might not know who the Justice League is. So even though this is a movie that is definitely derivative story-wise, and it certainly has its flaws, I feel like this movie is perfectly harmless, and it's a great way to kill a couple of hours with your kid at the movies. I'm gonna give DC League of Super Pets a C+. This movie wasn't bad, guys. It's totally harmless. Don't make me make the joke. This movie was not a rough time. Okay, are you happy now? Are you happy with the dad joke? But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this movie down in the comment section below. Who is your favorite DC hero? Is it Batman? Is it Superman? Are you Team Martha or Team Martha? Joking aside, obviously this is so much fun for me, being able to make these videos, start the discussion about all new things in cinema with you lovely viewers. If you're a brand new viewer, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Please do consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right next to it while you're at it. And if you enjoyed what you saw today, feel free to hit the thumbs up on your way out the door. That would be some tremendous help as well. We have created such an amazing community over here, just talking all things movies and hanging out and just having a general good time. And you guys are all invited to the party, so smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, because oh man, do I have an exciting slate of content coming to you. I'm going to be finishing up the original Lord of the Rings trilogy in my Lord of the Rings hype up to Rings of Power. I'm also going to be wrapping up my look at Game of Thrones. I'm going to be finishing up Season 8 pretty soon here. Lots of new releases coming out in the month of August, namely Bullet Train and Beast. I'm very, very excited to talk about those. Clearly something for everybody to talk about over here on my channel. Thank you all again so very much for your continuous support. And with all that being said, back talk commence.